Today we're going to pour some concrete countertop samples. I'm going to show you some different techniques that you can use for your precast concrete countertops to get some patterns in them. This is an episode you're not going to want to miss. Hi, I'm Jim Dirdorf and this is Detroit DIY. Please reach down and hit that like button and subscribe button and let's go. So today we're going to be using a product called Rapid Set Mortar Mix. Rapid Set Mortar Mix is made by CTS Cement Manufacturing Corporation. And yup, I said Rapid Set. This is going to cure in 15 minutes. So CTS Cement Corporation, Manufacturing Corporation, knows that people are making countertops with their product and they're doing a lot of other things with it. And this is a pretty amazing product. So what they've come out with is one, flow control. So you mix flow control into your mix. You can put up to 4 bags of flow control into a 55-pound bag of mortar mix, and that is going to make it more liquid, flowable, pourable, so that you can work this stuff really easy and get the air bubbles out. I have played with a couple of samples already the other day that I did not film. Just wanted to see how this stuff was going to act. I'm going to mix up 20 pounds, 2 different colors, 10 pounds in each bucket. Now what we're going to do to slow down the set of this is we're going to add set control. And you can find both of these products in the aisle by the Rapid Set Mortar Mix at Home Depot. You can add up to 4 bags of set control per 55-pound bag of mortar mix. And the set control is going to slow down your cure. Mortar Mix states that this will give you an additional 10 to 20 minutes dependent on temperature in the work time of this mix. So that would open it up to 35 minutes of work time. If it's cooler out, you're going to get a lot more than that. So we're going to mix this cement up, and I'm going to use True Tone Iron Black in 10 pounds of it, and I'm going to use the white pigment that I have left from my other countertops in the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one fluid ounce container of color. Mortar Mix says I can put 1 pound of this in a 55-pound bag. So there's no way I will reach 1 pound by using this little bit, and I'm looking for some very light colors. So the next bucket, the next 10 pounds I'm going to use is the rest of the white pigment that I have left from my countertop, and I'm going to put about a half a Dixie cup in there. So it won't be a super precise measurement, but it's close enough. I could hit it again and again. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this stuff mixed up, and we're going to get started. Okay, I got both of these mixed up, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fill this one with gray, and I'm going to fill this one with white. It's not quite white, but it's a lighter color, so I just want 2 solids. I'm going to do that right there. I'm just going to do it with these Dixie cups. It pours in there pretty easy. As you can see, it's super flowable, and it'll stay that way for a while. Unlike the Quikrete mix would firm up really quick. I'm not worried about filling these to the top. I just want to get them close. If I make sure I have enough of everything, then I'll come back. I'm pretty sure this is going to use 4 pounds per 6 by 6 square, which will be a good way to calculate later. I'm not going to vibrate these because I'm not really super concerned with air bubbles. I might tap the sides of the forms a little bit, stick my fingers in there a little bit and kind of help it out. Same thing here with the white, just a solid color. when I started doing this, I looked on YouTube for ways to create a pattern in a precast concrete countertop, and there just wasn't really anything there. I found two. I think I found two videos and a lot of searching to find what I did. One of them I thought was pretty cool. The other one, they were both pretty cool, but one wasn't very usable as a countertop. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a couple of scoops of this gray on one side and a couple of scoops of this lighter color right on the other side. Now, I'm just going to get in here with my fingers and I'm going to drag them together. So I don't really want to stir them up. I just want to drag them around a little bit and hopefully I get some unique lines. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more scoops of this darker color, a couple more scoops of this lighter color. I'm going to do the same thing, just give them a little twist. Like I said, I don't want to blend them so much. Looks like I got a little too much. Okay, so for this one, I want to put some light spots in it, and I'm going to do that with this brush. And I'm just going to stick it in this lighter stuff, kind of get some off. I already got two of them in there, what do you know? And I'm just going to tap the brush real light. Something like that. I hope you can see them. They're just little splatter dots in there. And I'm going to put the gray on top of that. You can see how long this is staying liquid. Now what I want to do is I want to take this little artist brush and I'm going to get in this darker color. I'm going to try to emulate some fragment lines through here. May not look quite like that, but I'm just going to start up this edge. And I want to keep them thin and as light as possible. Side here. Who knows what it's going to look like? I'm just trying to show you some ways that you can experiment and sample a little bit with when you pour your countertop samples. I don't think there's any way that, you know, any one of them is going to be unique and have its own character. So here's what I did with that. just kind of a little line through it. I just want to see how it's going to show up in this lighter cement. Now there's not much there, so I'm not sure how well that's going to adhere. You know what? I might just add a little more to that real quick. Not really alter it, but just try to get the cement a little heavier. So that didn't really change it any, just kind of add a little height to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this lighter color in here. Now this mortar mix needs to be water cured, meaning once it loses its watery sheen on the surface that you can see when it's curing, you're going to go ahead and need to start spraying it with water for at least 1 hour after that happens. So we're probably, I would guess, 2 hours away from that happening with any of these. So and the other nice thing is, tomorrow morning, I'll be able to pop these out of the mold. Okay, so there we have it. We'll let these dry. I'm going to trowel them out a little bit, and then we'll get back. A couple of them aren't completely full, but I still think we're right at 4 pounds for a 6x6 cube. These buckets may have only had about 9 pounds in them, I'm thinking, even though I put them on the scale, but I knew they were close but a little light, so it might have been more like 9 pounds. So I'll get these troweled out, and then tomorrow we're going to pop them out of the form and have a look at them. It's been a little over 12 hours since I poured these samples, and we're going to go ahead and get them out of the form. I took the tape off of them already just to speed things up a little bit. So let's get you angled down here where you can have a good view. And we are going to open these up. So I'm just going to get all the side forms off, and then I'm going to flip them over. This Rapid Set Mortar mix cures pretty quick, but it still takes 28 days for a full cure. But it attains a really early strength, which is good. Now I did notice with the white color it seemed to be a little bit less early on. So I'm kind of curious how well the white color is going to come out this early. Or if it's going to be a little weaker than maybe I think it should. I'm curious as to what they're going to look like. Especially this one that I did the fold in. I'm hoping there wasn't too much blending and that the two colors stand apart. And also, these gray ones are going to lighten up quite a bit more over the next 7 days as the water completely leaves them. So when I turn them over, the front side is going to be darker than this side just because of the water that's still there. Alright, I'm going to start with this one right here. Just going to kind of lean this out, take this wood chisel in there and help this off. Do the same thing here. Now I use no oil on these, and you can see that it's not sticking. I noticed that these seem to be a little harder to pop off of the bottom form than if I would have used oil. but they don't stick to it. So I don't think oil is a necessary thing, or a release agent of some sort is completely necessary. But take this putty knife and I'm going to slide it underneath the corner of this. And now if this was an actual countertop, I might give it a little more time. Well, unfortunately, we didn't really get a blend. We got two different colors. I think it still looks pretty cool. If it was a bigger piece and you got a little more in, we got a little different colors on the sides. So if you could wind up with something like this, and then some dark, and then some light, and some dark, I think that would look pretty cool. Alright, let's go to this one that has the white spots in it, and see what we got there. And as you can see too, I did tap on this a little bit with the hammer, and I didn't vibrate it, but there are virtually no air bubbles. That corner right there did chip it when I just slid the putty knife under it, because I'm doing this a little quick. But it's virtually air bubble free. That's with no vibration. I just kind of took my hammer and slid this out off the table and tapped it from underneath. Maybe 5 minutes. I wasn't really concerned with air bubbles, but I basically didn't get any. Virtually no air bubbles. In fact, I think I see two little air pockets in the side. And this is the one that I put the white dots in. I think it's got a pretty unique look to it. A little bit on the edges and the corners. A little bit here. I think that would be a nice overall look. Alright, let's go to this one with the gray line. See what we got here. I'm kind of curious if the white is very white, or if it stayed kind of off gray. Doesn't look too bad from what I can see of the sides right now. Of course, this one and this one weren't completely full, but that's okay. Will it pop loose really easy? Oh, look at that. I like that. I like that a lot. Just think if you could run that through, it actually looks more like a random type vein. It doesn't look, looks more natural to me. It doesn't look super unnatural. It's got some nice fade in it. A little bit up that side, a little bit there. I like that. I think that's a good technique for putting a line in and trying to emulate a fragment line. Now we have here just our two solid colors. So we'll get them out. Hopefully my daughter likes one of these and we can get her countertops going pretty soon here. Brett and I are going to install the base cabinets a little later today. So it'll be ready for measuring. kind of like Christmas morning, opening your present. Makes you feel like a kid again. That's the worst part when you do this, and then you have to wait to turn it over and see if what it looks like, and it's like the anticipation kills you. That is just the solid color, and those darker spots will probably dry out. I do see a couple little air bubbles in this one, but with some mechanical vibration, that wouldn't be there. I'm really happy with this mortar mix and the results I'm getting from it. I did go to CTS Cement Manufacturing's website, and they have a couple videos up there, and they talk just a little bit about people making countertops with this product. And here we have the solid white color. There are a couple little air bubbles in it, but it's not too bad. I mean, you can see them, but I don't see anything in the face, maybe a little one. Nothing on the corners. Looks good. Looks really good. So there we have it. 3 different techniques for putting a pattern in your countertop. I was really hoping this would be a little more blended, maybe a little bit like marble. I'll play with that some more and see if I can't make that happen. But irregardless, I think that looks pretty cool, especially if it was on a bigger piece where you had a little dark here, a little light, dark. I think that would look nice. You know, just splattering it in with the brush. I think that turned out really cool. I like that, just to splash a different color. And with the little artist brush, I like that too. I think it looks real natural. So that's what we got. Pretty soon we'll get these countertops measured up and we're going to pour them for her. We got a bunch of work to do here. So yep, I've been stepping back and forth from, you know, my spare time. From my spare time I'm spending at her house. So we'll get all this stuff done. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please reach down, hit that like and subscribe button. If you enjoyed yourself, go ahead and click on one of them 2 videos. They're going to pop up right there. I'd like to give a special thanks to Tony Iaconelli and Brett Wimmer, because none of this could happen without them.